I keep the Meco hand crank solar chargeable flashlight on my everyday carry bag. It conveniently hangs on there with the carabiner, and as you'll see in this video, it is water resistant. I wouldn't dunk it in a lake, but in a little bit of a rainstorm when you're walking around, as much as you're going to get on you, that'll be fine. So this goes everywhere I go, and this has been flopping around in my bag for a couple weeks now. So it's pretty tough, rugged, and holding up, and still works just fine. Convenient thing is, leaving it here, it gets charged up by the sun as it's hanging around in your bag. So depending on how you sit it and where you put it, it's still getting some good sunlight and charging up on the go, which is cool. Well, I got my little flashlight out here. It's raining sporadically, hit and miss, and it dries up, then it rains a bit, and then it dries up. I've had it out here a couple hours. I don't know if you can see the raindrops on it, just to show that you can get it wet and it's not going to destroy it. It's not waterproof, but I would say it's water resistant for normal daily use. So I'm leaving it out there for the day. Let's see if it does rain halfway decent. Yeah, we'll come back and have a look and show you. The thing is most likely still going to work. Now we got some rain. Alright guys, it's raining pretty good, enough to show that this can take it. It's been raining on and off all day. I'm going to take it in and call it a day. It's got enough wetness on it all day long, and of course it doesn't going to affect it at all. So I don't want to flood it, but I just want to show that the Meco hand crank flashlight can take a normal rain and a normal hike. So I've been using the Meco hand crank flashlight, trying to look in the camera and crank it. Been using it for a couple weeks now, taking it everywhere I go. Solar chargeable, hand crank rechargeable, 3 LED flashlight. It's nothing spectacular as far as the lumens output, but it'll get you around in an emergency. And considering it's convenient like this, you can hang it around and keep it charged in your window. I think people who are in natural disaster prone areas should keep these on hand in case of power outages. Hurricane Katrina was a big wake-up call to a lot of people, and a lot of people are starting to stock up and keep things on hand, such as a multi-powered flashlight. You don't need a USB port for this. You don't need any external power to charge this, which is great and convenient. And one of the bonus points about this flashlight, it has a rubberized front cover, so it is a little bit shock resistance. So if you drop it on its face, it doesn't wreck the LED lenses. And I don't remember the numbers, but the solar panels on a handheld device like this are never spectacular, and people have to go in realizing that. I'm going to do some math here for you and explain the battery, because these are important numbers we're going to give you here for this light. Alright, very important to realize. This is only 86 grams. It's really light and convenient. So also I love the clip, so I can keep that on the outside of my everyday carry bag, so it's always easy to grab. Something like that, and this is a very strong spring. You really have to work to get that off, so it's not going to fall off on you. Having it outside on your bag, easily reachable, is very important for emergencies. Being lightweight is good. It's got 100,000 hour lifespan, which is, it's top end for the LED type. Now what we have here is a 40 milliamp hour battery inside, which lasts for 120 minutes. That's 2 hours with this little light, which is pretty impressive for this little thing. So you can run it for 2 hours straight on a full charge. Now the charger is basically a DC motor, which when you spin a DC motor by hand or with any other device, it's actually a generator. So by spinning this for a couple minutes, you can have a charged battery and have 2 hours of lighting time. Now it says here 1 minute of cranking will, at about 2 rotations per second, so something like that, okay, for 1 minute will give you about 8 minutes of lighting time. So to fully charge this up by hand, it's going to take you a while. If you do the math, let me do some math, I'll be right back on that. Okay, got a little calculator here, and I just calculated that 15 minutes of steady cranking, 15 minutes will get you a 2-hour lighting period. Now that's if you drain it down entirely and totally to 0. But you know what I've done? I've been sitting around the campfire waiting for the morning coffee, cranking up the light while I'm visiting with my friend. And that's not a problem. It's not that big a deal. 15 minutes sounds like a lot, but it can go pretty fast when you're visiting with friends or whatever. But the easier way to go is just leave this thing in the sun. Now that could take longer, and let me get back to you in a minute with some numbers. Now this has a 40 milliamp hour lithium ion battery, which means it's pretty good and rugged battery. That's a good thing. It's not the nickel cadmium, so it doesn't have memory effect. That's good. And 40 milliamp hours, which doesn't sound like much, but it's not a high powered LED. So you have, when you crank this thing, or when you set this in the sun, you've got 2 milliamps of current charging your battery. So if you set it for an hour, you've got 2 milliamp hours of energy put back into your battery. So to get 40 milliamp hours, you have to set this in the sunlight for 20 hours. Now that'll take you a couple days of good full sunlight. So, you know, 2 10-hour days is probably a believable, more realistic time to charge this up fully. Now, I don't believe on this tiny device, I'm going to ask the company, but I don't know what kind of overcharge, undercharge controllers they have on this, or how high end it is. Being lithium ion, there generally has to be some controlling circuitry involved. So I do like the fact that it has a lithium battery. That's a much better deal, because with the nickel cadmiums especially, if you undercharge them or under discharge them or over discharge them repeatedly, they're going to be wrecked. So the lithium ion are a lot more forgiving on that. 2 10-hour days, not a big deal. I think that's doable. I think that's just fine. I have not actually taken it out long term and totally drained it to totally recharge it, because realistically there's no way of knowing the charge on the battery at any given time with this tiny device. There's no meters, there's no external connections. So just treat it good, keep it in the sun, and you know, set it out for 2 days before you need it, and you're good to go. If you're in a survival scenario, just make sure the thing is out all the time and try not to run it down completely every day, and you should have light every single day. And again, sitting around chatting by the campfire, it's not a big deal. So I like the fact that it does have that opportunity, that option of backing it up. Alright guys, decent little survival light. Thanks for watching. I'll put the links down in the video description and in the comments below. This is Troy from TR Tech Tactical and Survival. A little cool survival flashlight that I think you should all have in your homes if you are in a disaster area, or you can throw it in your fishing bag or in your car, great for your car, or on your everyday carry bag just like I got. The Meco hand crank, solar powered survival light. Talk to you later.